This game features some disturbing concepts and imagery. If this is a concern for your mental health, please tread carefully. So we already did this. This is the continuation of Monica's Day 1 poem. Is her Day 1 poem in Loop 2. It's just straight up continuation of it. Once again, talking about me, the player, right here, and the determination to keep going. This is also echoed over here in this message titled I.text, which it was found in the games folder here. I hate this. I can't do anything. Nothing. No matter how many times you play, it's all the same. It would be really, really easy to kill myself right now. But that would mean I don't get to talk to you anymore. All I want is for you to hate them. Why is that so hard? But, yeah, this, is the ghost in the machine, as it were, that, is directly talking to me. And, they just want me to hate them. But they can't really affect things, but they're still determined and pushing on, which is kind of the same sort of, I mean, this is a stronger determination. It's like swallowing my fears, I brandish my pin. That's a much stronger, determined, like, I'm gonna keep trying this. And this is like, well, I mean, I guess I'm gonna keep going. This could be a singular or plural them. Most obvious assumption is that it's plural them. It's like, you know, the other characters. But it could just be referring to a specific person as well. Or, like, for example, the two entity theory or whatever, if you will. Could be one entity wanting you to hate the other entity. I could even, like, one of the entities could be effectively the game, and the other one's the thing trapped in the game, which is basically Monica, but not exactly, because Monica knows things. She's the lady who knows everything, effectively, but she's not in control of everything. She's definitely not in control of everything. But yeah, that's the tie-in there. This was actually the second text file message. There we go. That's a better way to phrase it. They have not yet sent me a message on my phone, but you know, the night's still young. This was the first one, titled "Can You Hear Me?" and has the same text that was found elsewhere in the files. And once again, kind of is from the perspective of one of the entities, possibly the entity, possibly one of multiple entities. There's a little devil inside all of us, beneath their manufactured perception, their artificial reality, is a writhing, twisted mess of dread, loathing, judgment, elitism, self-doubt, all thrashing to escape the feeble hold of their host, seeping through every little crevice they can find, into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire, into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food, or into a newly opened gash in their skin, hidden only by the sleeves of a cute new shirt. Such a deplorable, tangled mass is already present in every single one of them. That's why I choose not to blame myself for their actions. All I did was untie the knot. This is still one of the most interesting lines in the game so far, I would say. And so, an entity removed some limiter, and therefore the character's deepest tendencies are now surface level rather than more hidden, is kind of the most direct understanding of kind of what this is talking about. The other most interesting thing here is that there's 4 people indicated here. There's 4 people indicated. You would think that if it was, like, from the perspective of Monica, she would not be including herself, right? So that's interesting. That's interesting. The other fourth... There's technically 5 people, though. So you got Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki, Monica, and Twinge. So it's still possible it's from the perspective of Monica referring to 4 other people. This is Yuri's day... This was day 1? No, Yuri's day 1 was the same. Yeah, Yuri's day 1 was the same. Yuri's Loop 2, day 2 poem. Wheel. A rotating wheel. Turning an axle. Grinding. Bolthead. Linear gearbox. Falling sky. 7 holy stakes. A docked ship. A portal to another world. A thin rope tied to a thick rope. A torn harness. Parabolic gearbox. Expanding universe. Time controlled by slipping cogwheels. Existence of God. Swimming with open water in all directions. Drowning. A prayer written in blood. A prayer written in time-devouring snakes with human eyes. A thread connecting all living human eyes. A kaleidoscope of holy stakes. Exponential gearbox. A sky of exploding stars. God disproving the existence of God. A wheel rotating in 6 dimensions. 40 gears and a ticking clock. A clock that ticks 1 second for every rotation of the planet. A clock that ticks 40 times every time it ticks every second time. A bolthead of holy stakes tied to the existence of a docked ship to another world. A kaleidoscope of blood written in clocks. A time-devouring prayer connecting a sky of 40 gears and open human eyes in all directions. Breathing gearbox, breathing bolthead, breathing ship, breathing portal. Breathing snakes, breathing God, breathing blood, breathing holy stakes, breathing human eyes, breathing time, breathing prayer, breathing sky, breathing wheel. This gives some further credence to the Markov sort of theory a little bit there, like. Stuff like prayer written in time-devouring snakes with human eyes, right? That just feels like a very Markovian sentence. But yeah, so this is more Markov stuff. Once again, the emphasis of breathing. Breathing is a very recurring theme too, right? Like this is also in Monica's here was the air I breathe dissipates before it reaches me. Oh, I was saying it was bathe earlier, but breathe is a separate, but also recurring theme. But yeah, otherwise, you have vague illusions, like a portal to another world, right? I mean, I guess that's not really vague at that point. You have illusions, let's just say you have illusions. That's probably the most direct one there. But otherwise, you just kind of have madness obsession sort of thing going on here. Then we've got Monica's day 2, loop 2 is very similar to her day 1, or day 2 loop 1, but has some letters missing and has the caps, and then that, of course. But instead of load me, it now says delete her as well. So it's interesting because, again, it's like it's unclear if the poems are fully disconnected from the lines of dialogue and text or only partially. Like there's certainly an indication that the poetry itself is somewhat disconnected from the rest of the world, but the rest of the world is not a coherent mass to begin with, so any number of things can be disconnected, right? I mean, we're already having people communicate to us through text files. We are already having Monica directly talk to us in person. Then we've got Natsuki's Loop 2 Day 2 poem, which is only available on the Natsuki path. Like, you can either favor Yuri or Natsuki. If you favor Yuri, she doesn't even give you this poem. She's just pissed at you, like, yeah, why don't you spend more time with Yuri? Like, get out of here. If you're on her path, she gives you a poem written in base 64, and that poem is Open Your Third Eye. I can feel the tenderness of her skin through the knife, as if it were an extension of my sense of touch. My body nearly convulses. There's something incredibly faint, deep down, that screams to resist this uncontrollable pleasure. But I can already tell that I'm being pushed over the edge. I can't stop myself. So, once again, the uncontrollable urge situation and theming going on here. The knot's been untied, after all. And once again, cutting someone. But this one is cutting someone else rather than yourself. So... Is it, though? Is it, though? Can the entity feel... If the whole situation here, in total, is what's causing Yuri to become, like, cut herself and do all of these things, is this connected to that? Like, is this, like, an entity effectively, like, living through her experience of cutting herself? Not confident, but that's a possibility. It's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought. And yeah, once again, it's like mixed up, right? This is not a Natsuki poem, but keep in mind it was given, like, encoded, right? It's like, here's a bunch of gibberish on screen, so if you want to go decode it, you can, but... And the only other thing was just that the names of the poems, when people were demonstrating their poems in front of the other people, was The Way They Fly, I think was Monica. After Image of a Crimson Eye was Yuri's. My Meadow was Natsuki, and Jump was... Wait, no. The Way They Fly was Sayori's, because that was the first one. After Image of a Crimson Eye was Yuri's. Or... Sayori's was... I don't remember. I don't think it matters too much, so I didn't write it down. I don't remember. Yeah, exactly. Twinge can't read that poem. Not that Twinge... Twinge isn't really, like, actively participating in thing. Yeah, that's a possibility, Cathodic, that, like, the characters are effectively, like, personalities of Monica. Like, that kind of fits in, like, to some extent, it's complicated. The kind of last thing we were mostly left with was, I mean, I guess we just reload, right, and like see it again. There's no particular reason not. Here's our happy thoughts sitting around. I'm just looking again at this delete her request, as it were. I don't want to delete anyone else, though. I don't like. I'm torn, right? I'm torn between the exploration and science and the fact I don't want to, right? So, we've got our character files here, right? All three characters, you know, all three characters that are here. We've tried deleting this one. So, like, that kind of is interesting with the deleter, because, like, we've got these other characters we can try deleting, and on top of that, we've also got happy thoughts, which we can try deleting. But I don't want to delete any of those things. I really don't. Like, this is, most of what we have left of Sayori, but there's indications that Sayori is still around and trying to get back, it's complicated. There's lots of things that can be lots of things at this point, but why would I want? That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna, Layla. I don't think I want to, but I'm still curious enough. Like, it's an internal conflict here. Like, I really don't want to delete any of those things. Like, because if they do something, I don't want them to do whatever they're gonna do, basically. Like, nothing good can come of this, is pretty much how I feel about that. But on the other hand, I'm also really curious if it does do something, right? Like, that's my internal, like, I don't trust the backups, though, ZZT. I don't trust the backups. Like, the backups are not reliable. The backups are not reliable. The game knows that you can back things up. Hey, Kylaria, I mean, we've got a lot of backups still, to be clear. There's like 8 files on my other desktop that are backups and stuff. And we had a note that we wanted to try reloading 9-3. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, because we wanted to see disturbing imagery ahead, by the way, possibly. We'll see if this rewinds again or if it just prevents it from happening entirely. So I was curious about that. Yeah, it should be reliable if I back up the persistent file. It's a little less fun to back up the persistent file, though, to some extent. Like, not backing up that, but backing up everything else feels a little more, like I'm playing fair, but I don't need to play fair. Like, it's an interesting thought back and forth. Okay, so it does still let you rewind. It's either way is in the spirit of things, honestly. Anything is pretty much in the spirit of things at this point. Like, literally trying to reprogram the Python code is in the spirit of things, I feel, so... We've got like a freaking cavalcade of disturbing imagery on our save file thumbnails now. Just all like there's so many disturbing things in the thumbnails at this point. Like, I don't even remember this one. Like, I honestly, I don't know why, but I don't remember like her face being corrupted like this. Is that different? It's probably not different. Everything else is the same. But I guess I'm gonna load this. That's probably how it was. Yeah, it was just the one screen. Okay. Like how nice and quiet the club is right now. Okay, so, yeah, here was the last important thing from, Monica. We've also got, everything's been going to hell. Like, I really do care about you, you know? I don't like seeing the other girls give you a hard time. With how mean Natsuki is and everything. And Yuri being a little bit, you know. Sometimes it feels like you and I are the only real people here. So, there was the most important line we saw at the end of last stream of this. To be clear, she's talking to me, not to Twitch. Also, another thing we didn't really talk about too much, but Monica's like been kind of stepping up her attention towards Twinge. Like, she was pretty just background in Loop 1, but she's come more to the forefront and been like saying stuff, well, you can always spend time with me instead. And like, she did that at the end of Loop 1 and then like is emphasizing that more in Loop 2. Just like trying to spend more time with us, talk with us and or Twinge. You know what I mean? But it's weird, because in all the time you've been here, we've hardly gotten to spend any time together. I mean, I guess it's technically only been a couple days. Sorry, I didn't mean to say something weird. There are just some things I've been hoping to talk about with you.
Things I know only you could understand. So that's why... Wait, not yet. No!
So, that was the other most important thing that happened at the end of last stream. Was that, Monica is clearly not in full control of what's going on. She knows a lot. She's the lady who knows everything, arguably. But, she's not in full control. I guess this is the alpha timeline. We're going to just do Natsuki words, I suppose. And, be straightforward in that. So, yeah, it's time to write our own Markovian masterpiece here, right? Yeah, so simple words, fun words. Cute. Lipstick. Puppy. Clouds. Joy. Oh, joy, because it's an emotion, goes to her. This is also 1111111 out of 20. I mean, we're not picking this again, right? Yeah. Alright. Then, like, ribbon. Laugh. Boop. Cheeks. Milk. Was that a goat? Adventure. Rainbow is now hers, because it's not Sayori's anymore. I think we gained an extra one. We're gaining an extra one with each of these. Play. Oh, remember how we have been talking about all these words becoming terrible? Most of these words are terrible now. Play is definitely one of them. Yeah, it is adding one each time. Okay. So it's just having a one for each count. Skipping. Cheer. Feather's not exactly terrible, but it is a recurring word again. And there's a breathe as well here. I'm gonna pick breathe just because. Anyway, back to it's happy thoughts. Is anything different over here? But that was this. I mean, not exact. It wasn't the same image, like because it wasn't like cut off in the middle. Oh, and persistent was in fact just updated. Okay. Always interesting to check what madness the game considers permanently relevant, and what madness it doesn't consider permanently relevant.
Hi, Twinge. I've been waiting for you. Are you ready to continue reading? I brought my best tea today.
Monica, I told you not to... Is she really late again? And then we got this interesting thing too, right? Monica's always late on day 2 and 3.
Inconsiderate as usual, Natsuki.
Excuse me?
Must you always interrupt my conversations with your incessant yelling?
What are you talking about? You say that like I do it on a regular basis or something. Also, notably, this was both timelines, or was it only this timeline? Natsuki was, like, super overwritten, and Yuri went to apologize to her, and she didn't know what she was talking about. So, like you got kind of like a hierarchy almost of how much of a puppet people are. Natsuki's like the most puppet, it seems, except for maybe Twinge, possibly Twinge. Twinge is like on one side or the other. Twinge is not in the middle of the puppet scale. I just wasn't paying attention, okay? I'm sorry. Seriously, what's gotten into you lately? Look, I did some thinking about yesterday. I was a little more hostile than I meant to be. I guess I really felt threatened or something. But I know this is something we're doing together. Another new member wouldn't hurt, as long as they're cool. I guess another girl would be nice this time. So... Natsuki... Nobody cares. Why don't you go look for some coins under the vending machines or something? Monica just like slides in like it's nothing. Just, hey, what's up? Monica's here. How's it going? So I don't even like want to move back here because I'm afraid like something's about to happen. It's gonna like put me in a vulnerable position. Oh man, I'm the last one here again. Were you practicing piano again? Yeah. This is still creepy, by the way. Her song that she eventually wants to share with us and is excited to share with us eventually. You must have a lot of determination. Starting this club and still trying to make time for piano. Just like gonna side-eye literally everything Monica says. Well, maybe not determination, but I guess passion. It motivates me to work harder for the festival, too. Anyway, Twinge, what do you want to do today? I was thinking we could... We already have plans today. Is that so, Yuri? That's correct. Twinge is already engaged in a novel that we're reading together. Aren't you glad I've already gotten him into literature, Monica? I suppose. I was just... Actually, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You guys can do whatever you want. Yes. Thank you for understanding, Monica. Actually, I have a request. I mean, it's not just Monica, to be clear. Like like anything like leading anything. It's just everything is terrible. Okay, just some tea. This is the same as day 2 if you do the Yuri path. Do we press the skip button? I guess we press the skip button. Yes. Yup. but Natsuki is here. We saw how great our day 2 poems were, so I'm sure day 3's gonna be grand. Alright, what's up, Natsuki? You are here, so that's cool.
This one's alright.
Alright.
Well, yeah. About as good as yesterday's, anyway. I still can't really tell how much you actually care about writing, but either way, you're doing alright. Even though you're not really spending time with anyone but Yuri. I still think it's nice to have activities that we all participate in.
So, now I also wonder is this, like, how predetermined is this? Is this because we were more favorable to Yuri in Loop 1, and therefore it's forcing us to be favorable to Yuri in Loop 2, even when we actively go out of our way not to be? I can see it either way. There's even some vague reasons why it might be one or the other. Like, Twinge, the character, chose Yuri the first time around, and, like, Twinge, the character, has power and wants to still stay with Yuri. Like, there's any number of kind of side thoughts along those lines that could be irrelevant.
So you better keep working hard. I mean, I know I'm not president or vice president or anything.
I was just assuming a terrible thing would happen after she said I need ellipses. I'm like, okay, Natsuki's gonna break again. Because Natsuki's broken several times. Well, I guess she's like hardcore broken twice is probably the most accurate way to describe it. As a reminder, like this for example, was the first time she completely broke. We were not able to save during her break. Well, this is like while she was breaking the second time, but then it got even worse. So I guess let's just replay this real quick, so everyone could re-experience this. This is what I was talking about. The word "play" is now tainted.
The club is the only place I feel safe. Don't ruin that for me. Don't ruin it. Please. Just stop talking to Yuri. Play with me instead. It's all I have. Play with me. Play with me.
Her eyes are also bleeding, by the way. I didn't actually notice that the first time. Anyway, proceeding forward, are you gonna break again, Natsuki, or are we okay? I don't know.
But that doesn't mean you can let me down, okay? So at least read mine too, for now. But just to be clear, this poem means a lot to me. So read it carefully, okay?
Literally everything puts me at unease. Yeah, yep. That's okay. It's not a poem at all. That makes sense. Like I said, they can communicate things through poems. They can't communicate through words. That's been a recurring thing as well. I don't know how else to. Let's see. I guess I could just read this in her voice. Or...
I don't know how else to bring this up, but there's been something I've been worried about. Yuri's been acting kind of strange lately. You've only been here a few days, so you may not know what I mean, but she's not normally like this. She's always been quiet and polite and attentive, things like that. Okay, this is really embarrassing, but I'm forcing myself to suck it up. The truth is, I'm really worried about her. But if I try talking to her, she'll just get mad at me again. I don't know what to do. I think you're the only person that she'll listen to. I don't know why, but please try to do something. Maybe you can convince her to talk to a therapist. I've always wanted to try being better friends with Yuri, and it really hurts me to see this happening. I know I'm going to hate myself later for admitting that, but right now I don't care. I just feel so helpless. So please, see if you can do something to help. I don't want anything bad to happen to her. I'll make you cupcakes if I have to. Just please, try to do something. As for Monica, I don't know why, but she's been really dismissive about this. It's like she just wants us to ignore it. So I'm mad at her right now, and that's why I'm coming to you about this. Don't let her know I wrote this. Just pretend like I gave you a really good poem, okay? I'm counting on you. Thanks for reading.
Okay. So, I mean, she's still not, like, pure puppet. Oh, God. Like, I'm pausing for a second, because this, like, what am I to do? Like, how many options am I going to have to do something? One of the only things under my power to do would be deleting the Yuri character file. Which is, I mean, doing something, but it seems inconsistent with the symbolism in this poem. The other interesting thing to note will be if anything knows Natsuki has written this poem. I'm currently under the assumption that this poem, but that poetry is separated enough that, like, Monica can't know what she's writing in her poem here. I've opened character files. There's nothing obvious. Like, I kind of assume they aren't, like, actual files that are relevantly used at all. Though notably, Monica's file is much larger than the other ones there, right? But yeah, they just look like this. Wait, this is a base... This is just one long line that's a base 64 message, isn't it? Alright. Let's go back to base64decode.org.